ways to profit. We're going to talk about easy stuff to make props and stuff you can just find around at home to whatever you're making, make the prop. You might need it.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm Raextreme cosplay.
I'm Zelda Master cosplay.
I'm mostly known for like playing villain or being villain costumes or Star Wars around this area. And I'm also mostly in the skit competition.
Yeah, people mainly know me for like Legend of Zelda cosplays and any kind of armor cosplays and props.
Alright, so let's keep going. Okay, when you make cosplays, it all depends who you are and, you know, how much effort you want to put into it. Depending as in what props you might need, headpieces, weapons mostly for most people is weapons, or face accessories, including glasses, or any type of
crown or anything like that.
You never know what you might need. You want to make it perfect, that's the way to do it, is you always go for the headpieces too. Comes to money, I know that's a huge factor on most people. We all work a lot of time consuming, and you know, you don't want to spend $50 on just on one little thing that's not even probably that big. Or, you know, let's spend like $500. I know people that buy $500 in props, or just like an exact replica of a prop. Yeah, don't do that. Then you're just going to be like, use it, and then someone's going to take it and destroy it. That's what I always fear, is if you buy something like that, be careful where you're going. What I do, I work at a school. I'm an aide, and if you are a teacher or anything, you can get like special offers when you go to craft stores. Don't, you know, flip out if you're scared about being the coupon lady or man. Don't be afraid, because coupons, they're life. They're your life, trust me. I think my purse is full of all Joann's fabric stuff. And then they just keep going and going. Be on the email, be on the text message, be on it. And don't be afraid to ask for competitor coupons. They'll take it and you're like, yay, I say save $2 on that. What?
I want to say also, don't forget thrift stores.
Oh yeah, thrift stores, yeah. That's a lifesaver too. Yes. You don't have to spend $20 on a pair of pants or rip them off and turn them into something. Wait, can I be right? I know.
That's like how I made my icon.
Equipment buying. Again, what are you making? It's all on you. How much effort you want to put in, that's up to you. Duct tape has always been a good luck charm to me. I can tell you, she's duct taped me in my costume with my arm popped off, or just something to cover up a little something you damaged to part of your prop. Cover, you know, they have duct tape in every color now. It's not hard to find. I always, when I go to conventions, I always bring a glue gun, just because you'll have that one thing that just wants to.
Or if you have to hot glue gun somebody into a costume.
That was only twice. One for you. Heat guns. They're easy to make your like craft foam bin with heat and stuff. They're actually not that expensive. I mean, if you want to spend like, I've got mine like at $20 at Menards. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's very, very helpful now, at least for me. Poster boards for like sword making and stuff. I think I go through so many poster boards making props. It's my lifesaver on that. Band-aids, you're gonna need them.
Yeah.
How many times we stab
Or burn yourself.
and of course scissors. In other words, never ending. I could just go on. What else you need? Okay, use duct tape. If not, it's just gonna hurt. You know, after you take it off.
Water. Glue.
Okay, you can do that too. It's all up to you if you don't want to get an infection or anything. But all right, onwards. That's yours.
Oh yeah, okay. So that's the Master Sword, and that is made just out of wood and Model Magic air dry clay. For all the detailing, most people don't tend to use the Model Magic because it cracks, or it can. But I found that if you're going to use that, actually spray it with a spray acrylic sealer, and it'll help it to not crack as much. And it does strengthen it as well. And you can actually get the Model Magic from Michael's, and you can get coupons from there too, so you get it even cheaper. But yeah, all the detailing is the Model Magic. And then the hilt is actually an old chair leg from a chair that was sanded down, so you can really use anything.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I use a lot of stuff. I just find in my room or it's in my dog's mouth. But yeah, here's another picture.
And this is another picture. And actually on the gold sword, there's actually craft foam on that one, so for detailing. So you can use craft foam on wood if you want. That's what I decided to do, and it holds up pretty well, and it's cheap. So,
this is my staff I just used because it was going to actually beat the living tar out of it by a sword on a stage performance I did. So I just kind of make it, this is my Maleficent costume, by the way. I wore this at Archon and Cowicon. I didn't want to make something that was going to like put a lot of effort in because I knew it was going to beat the living tar out of it. So what I did is just bought a cheap, like a PVC pipe, and I actually used it on other stuff. I cut it down just enough for a good little sword or staff I'm using it. And to make a little detail in it, because Maleficent's staff in the actual Angelina Jolie film, it's more like has vines, and kind of like a wooden thing. She just picked up a stick and just made it a staff. So I just kind of did a little detailing and just played around with just glue. And that's just hot glue, making a design. Be aware you will burn yourself. If you're trying to make that perfect design. And then I just spray painted it over, and then that is that, because I knew it wasn't something I was too like, okay, it's, you know, it's worth it to get beaten living tar out of.
alright, so these are actually made out of, okay, so the shield is actually an old tabletop that was, it's heavy, but it's worth it. That was sanded and then painted, and the ring around it is actually like it's like a foam board and craft foam. The sword is entirely made out of corrugated plastic and craft foam. And corrugated plastic is interesting to work with. It's hard for some people because of the ridges it has. It's kind of like a cardboard. And you can get that from like Home Depot. It comes in 6-foot long sheets, and it's like $15, but you can make a lot of stuff out of one sheet. So that's made out of that and coated with craft foam so you don't see all of the ridges, and then spray painted.
You know how many times when you first told me about how you made your stuff, I'm like, I can't find it. I was dumb. I went to Lowe's and they looked at me like,
they put it in a weird section of the store.
So be aware.
So be aware of that.
It is hard to find, and if you have someone at Lowe's, unless they really know their stuff, they'll know it. If not, they're just gonna look at you like you just, you know, said something weird in a different language. Because guy I asked, he was like, "What?" Anyways, headpieces. This is my Ahsoka Tano headpiece. Depending, you know, how big your person's head, because Ahsoka is an alien from Star Wars. You don't want to make it so heavy on you, because if not, you're going to be like sitting and going, what do I do this for? You know, this is just the worst idea ever. This is my second Ahsoka headpiece. I made the original first Clone Wars. This is Star Wars Rebels, since she's back in that now. A lot longer. I was first going to just go with clay on it, but I'm just like, this is going to be a bad idea. So I ended up just using stuff around at home. I took for my old Ahsoka headpiece, which is that actually green and orange thing, that was a jester's hat. And what I did is pulled everything together and just stuffed it. And then since Ahsoka's head's bigger in this one, I made a wire around to make the frame, and then just put cotton in it and just kind of sewed it or duct taped it in. This is like my duct tape headpiece, as I call it. I put a couple layers of duct tape to see how it goes. and see how heavy it was, because her back of her head is a lot longer than her first appearance. So I wanted to make sure I didn't give myself like a bad head break or something. But I first layered it with just extra duct tape I had at home. Then I went out and bought white duct tape. Being the white, painted the designs on it blue, which I had to do a couple layers because when you paint duct tape, it's just going to look like it's like nail polish. You're going to have to add those layers and then kind of seal it so it doesn't crack anywhere. But that's the finishing result on the final headpiece and then my picture.
All right. So this gun prop was made out of the weirdest thing ever. It is made out of toilet paper roll tubes and craft foam. And my family thought I was crazy when I just stole the roll. And I just glued everything together. And that was like the cheapest prop I've ever made. It's like, and it holds up really well, and it's really light, so it's nothing too heavy. And this is actually it right here, all painted and everything. But yeah, so you can use toilet paper roll tubes and poster roll. Let's see, the little knife over there was actually made out of Instamorph, and that is basically little meltable beads that you pour into boiling water, and then you can take it out and mold it to whatever you want. That comes in like a tub, and it's like, depending on the size tub you get, it can be anywhere from like $10 to $25. The good thing I like about that, if you mess up, you just put it back in the hot water and you can remold it, so you don't ever really ruin anything. And it gets really hard. Like, I tried bending it and it won't break, so I do recommend that for anybody who makes knives or anything like that.
Just have a question. Has anyone worked with Warbler before? A little bit. See, that's more of the expensive round. I mean, I tried a sample of it when I went to a costume or skill thing. Yeah, that's the one I use. I use it on some of my prop making and stuff, but it's guaranteed. That's the most expensive thing. You could just like, that's money. That's money right there. I know someone that just bought a whole thing up, like a big thing of it. Remember?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I'm like, that's a lot of money to put in.
yeah, it is.
But that's a cheaper route stuff that I like to stay with. Or yeah.
The syringe was also entirely made out of Instamorph. I actually had to work on that for a while to get it that shape, but it's really strong. And this is it. This is it right here as well. The axe was actually made out of foam board and a poster roll tube, in which I just randomly had around my house. So I just used leftovers from what other people had in the house to make that. And then that's the finished product of painting all of those. And again, it's really light. The axe is really light.
May I see your syringe? I'm sorry, I'm just curious of the other areas. Yeah, that's not.
The Instamorph does get heavy if you use a lot of it. Just so you know, it does get some weight on it. Oh yeah.
Blade.
Oh yeah, the hidden blade right there. That's made out of corrugated plastic and foam board for the blade actually, but the main box itself is made out of the corrugated plastic. And if you guys want, after you can come up and see it because I've got them all up here. But I do recommend corrugated plastic too for props. Oh yes, and the glasses are also made out of Instamorph as well. And it's really easy to use too, and it's not that expensive, so I do recommend it.
And voila.
And that's
Or card, I think.
yeah.
And now.
Yeah, I am now.
And now. Popular demand now.
Yeah, popular man.
This is my duck for Rocket Raccoon. Yeah. It was a messy project because Rocket's gun has a lot of details. I used like those little mats you can buy at like Five Below, those little yoga mats, and I just took an X-Acto knife and cut the pattern out. And I want Rocket's gun is big, and I like to go kind of like how the size is towards the character, and it's half my body height, and I'm 5'1". I used Warbler, a little bit of Warbler that I had, and a lot of craft foaming, a lot of gluing, a lot of heat gunning to make sure everything's bending right. Just a lot of details I was putting into it. And it got to the point, yes, it was heavy.
Is it heavy?
Yeah,
How much do you think it weighs?
10 pounds on on one arm. And I was doing all my dislocated arm too.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay, I was just
could've been-
curious.
So I usually waited out on stage till stage time to do that. But I wanted to make sure. But you know, you do have props where they're huge. They're gonna be heavy. Don't expect them. You're not gonna make them light unless you come up with some other way. Come teach me, because that was pretty heavy after a while. So I just left it in my car and waited till going on stage for it. But yeah.
Alright, this is my Thranduil crown from the Hobbit. And that was all made out of, Instamorph. That's what the container looks like, by the way. It'll look like that. If you're going to make a crown out of this stuff, beware, that is very heavy. Like, it doesn't look like it would be, but it tends to fall off the back of your head if you don't have it on right. I would use a mixture of other things looking back to make that instead of all just Instamorph, because it is heavy.
Where exactly did you get this for?
You can order it online, like on Amazon.
Okay. All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you're like me, I want a costume project, and I'm just like, I gotta get it now. I'm gonna start working on this because I'm a person like that.
At least I don't think I've ever seen Instamorph in a store.
But I have watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I know Amazon has it for sure.